This is the Jeff Mayweather Show on the Mayweather Boxing Channel.
All right, welcome to the Jeff Mayweather Show. Back again. It's seems like it's only been 2 years ago since we were last back. So, welcome back to the show. On my end here, on my left, we have the man the show's named after, the man of many talents, boxing trainer, and also in a recent.
Wait. What's the many talents?
I got lots of talent.
Let's just clear that up quick.
Come on, man. I got to lie here a little bit. I got to boost him up.
You want me to rap?
No, I'm good. I'm going to let him say what he's saying. I'm not going to get involved.
In fact, Vidal, they did a poll last year of 100 Hall of Fame boxers.
Yeah.
He was ranked the 47th greatest IBO world champion of all time.
47.
That's nice.
47th
Yeah, at least
greatest.
you're top 50.
I'll take it.
Yeah, that's good.
He ain't got no title.
Right, there you go.
Chump is his title.
Right next to me, the fast-rising cruiserweight star, 4-0 as a professional, Mr. Vidal Riley. And we'll be talking a little bit later about his next fight, which will be on the Mike Tyson-Roy Jones card. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
As for myself, I'm Jody Kohn. I accolades, really too many to name. 1986 on my Pony League team, most walks on our team. 1991 Pfeiffer College ping pong champion. So we'll
listen. It is what it is.
many awards of mine. And then on my end, America Abdallah. So all right.
Who?
Oh shoot.
Who you say? That ain't Amir.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah, a little different.
Amir's cool too.
No, we have martial arts Hall of Famer, MMA trainer, boxing trainer, MMA fighter, maybe retired, boxing fighter, maybe retired, kickboxer, maybe retired.
Yes, kickboxing world champion.
Come out
two
anytime.
times.
World champ, yeah, multiple. Anyway, Dewey Cooper. Welcome, Dewey.
Hello, I'm glad to be back. I mean, you guys just to replace me with Vidal because he got a cooler accent. I used to always be here. Now I'm the fucking redhead stepchild now.
Oh, no.
All right, we'll talk about quite a bit. First of all, though, I want to thank, we got a new sponsor on board, Smart Stop Self Storage. Thanks so much to them for sponsoring the show and also the Jeff Mayweather channel, the Mayweather channel. Check them out. They got locations all over the country. So smartstopselfstorage.com. Check them out and support them, please. Also, I think they do.
Yeah, they do. I was going to let you finish.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Shout out to Smart Stop for supporting me as well. Upcoming fighters we're going to get into. But yeah, they've just hopped on the team. So I appreciate that. And, I'll do my best to promote them. And they're doing their best to support me. So love as always, Smart Stop.
Yep. Love having them on board. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Obviously, for our viewers, I know we haven't been around much. And the country's basically gone crazy here with this COVID thing. So first of all, let's start with
episode of Zombieland or something. Yeah,
exactly. I never in my life. I mean, I'm sure all of us, we've never experienced anything even close to this. So this is kind of crazy. Jeff, how has it affected your day to day?
I mean, at times when it very first started, I mean, it was tough. It was tough because I was staying in the house. I was trying my best not to get, affected. And, but, I realized that at some point in time, you're going to have to take risks. So basically, I decided to start back working, and I'm doing better now than I was before the COVID.
It's been crazy. And Vidal, you got stuck over in the UK, right? A little longer than planned?
I had my fight February 28th. I told him, Jeff, everyone, I said, I'll be back 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks. During that time, it hit. Travel ban hit everything. So it went from, I'll be back in a couple weeks to get ready for my next fight to, months of just being in the UK, not being able to get back here. And then obviously you got to think a bit outside the box and to get back to where you need to be. Because if I don't get here, I'm not going to fight. As simple as that. And you go off everyone's radar, people start to forget about you. So I had to come up with a master plan to get back, but I ain't gonna share that. With you.
Oh, no. Now, us three are retired from our fighting career, but you're an active fighter. How did
us three? You ain't no fighter.
Undefeated, Jeff.
Chump.
Undefeated. Two of us at the table are undefeated. We can go into that again another time.
I guess fair play.
But Vidal, how did that affect you as far as, your training? You didn't get to work with Jeff. I know you work with your father and stuff back home, but do you feel that it affected you at all or pretty much,
Well, definitely. It was more about not necessarily the training. It's about the activity in the ring. That's where it was the most affected, is knowing that you're not going to get any fights. Training is one thing. Anyone can train. But it's about being active, adding to your record, moving up. And that's obviously been delayed because of COVID. So that was difficult to deal with. But at the same time, I'm fortunate, I've got youth on my side. You don't always have that on your side. So I got youth on my side. I didn't plan on turning pro until after the Olympics, 2020 Olympics. And thank God I didn't wait for that, because look at that.
Wait one more year.
Yeah, that got pushed back to 2021. So I'm still ahead of where I projected to be. And I always remind myself of that, even though it's easy to get caught up in the fact that, I'm a pro now, I want to fight now, I'm still ahead of where I plan to be in my boxing career. So when I put it into perspective, it's not that bad.
You said his accent's cool. He said youth on my side, and it took like 2 times. I kept saying, why does he keep saying I have you on my side? Like, I'm not.
Youth.
Yeah. Like, I'm not on your side, man. I'm not on your side. Dewey, you work with guys from all over the country. I mean, all over the world. I mean, have you had to deal with a lot of problems with guys not being able to travel and that kind of thing that work with you normally?
Yeah. I had one of my UFC fighters, it got positive with COVID and the fight got canceled, and he was stuck here from Moldova. It was a lot of craziness. This entire pandemic has affected me as well as the fighters. We did the first UFC fight in Brazil with Kevin Lee versus Charles Oliveira right after the pandemic hit. And after the fight, we had like 3 hours to get to the airport. Otherwise, we'd have been stuck in Brazil. So that was kind of a stressful moment. And getting back here, the gyms are closed, no one wanting to train. And if anyone knows me, I don't believe in not training, man. I don't give a fuck if the world's on fire. We going to the gym, so we had to scramble to find gyms where we could train at. And
you were like running up on Mount Charleston on Christmas Day or something.
Yeah. We man, I don't believe in holidays. I don't believe in nothing but trying to get as many victories as we can. I'm dead serious. So we trained this entire time, but guys didn't want to train with us, and this COVID, franticness about it was just crazy. But now we're blessed. UFC's doing shows every week, so I got guys active like crazy, top ranked, doing shows every week, and the world is slowly getting back into the fighting spirit. So now everyone's excited and training hard, and a lot of guys to spar now, so things are good. But yeah, this Corona COVID-19 thing really shocked us all and made us realize that things could change like that.
All right, well, let's talk about what's coming up in the future. And Vidal, I'm going to blame you for part of this stuff getting ready to come up here, because you were kind of around from the beginning, right? The YouTube thing. So the newest rumor or possibility is Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Did you know about, when did you hear? It's kind of interesting for those of you who don't know, Vidal signed to Mayweather Promotions, and of course he was in a corner with KSI when he fought Logan Paul, so he's got an interesting take from both sides, I think. Thoughts on that possibility?
I didn't believe it. Amir sent me something on Instagram. I was like, all right, cool, let me just continue my day. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, all right. And then when I see it start picking up, like some real momentum, people talking about it, I was like, this has gone too far, kind of. Like, it's gone too far, because it's just, you didn't expect it. You know what I mean? It's like, out of every opponent, every possible matchup, clear size difference. In your head, I'm thinking, hold on a second. He was just fighting KSI. And now, he's thinking about fighting Floyd. But when you just think outside the box, as I keep saying, and what are they trying to gain, or what can be gained from this? And it's just a ton of revenue. It's a ton of revenue. And it's an old saying, but it's true. It makes money, it makes sense. And these things make money. So it's like, you're not used to hearing about it. But then when you think about generation of numbers, it's like, it doesn't get really bigger than that.
Do you think that a fight between Floyd and Logan would be bigger than a fight between Logan and KSI?
I think so. I think so because it bridges both gaps. It bridges the
Yeah.
internet gap and it bridges the real fighting
Possibly.
gap.
But
Yeah.
Possibly.
but the people
But no,
that
I
follow
don't know.
KSI and Logan
Yeah.
don't know Floyd because they legitimately thought that KSI could beat Floyd.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how
but-
many new fans are you gonna? You might bring some
but-
boxing fans that just want to see Logan get his ass beat, but most boxing fans don't know who Logan is.
Yeah, but Floyd, man, Floyd,
yeah, it's-
he has a huge internet presence as well. He's popular as hell. He's probably one of the most popular fighters,
Ever.
definitely in this era.
Ever.
You know, I mean, you say Muhammad Ali, yeah. You say Mike Tyson, yeah. Then you got to say Floyd Mayweather Jr. after those names.
No, Floyd's popularity is undeniable because I can say to someone I box and I'm 4-0 and everything. And then the moment I say, "Yo, have you heard of Floyd Mayweather?" and they say, "Yeah," I'm like, I'm signed to him. They're like, "Oh, okay." So
Yeah, it's different.
he has that.
So bigger fight.
I don't know. You know, the reason why I don't know if it's bigger is because nobody is as invested in Logan Paul and KSI than their fans. Like, their fans are crazy. I know people will be interested because obviously it's Floyd, but when it comes to two YouTubers, like it's just such a different type of hype that's generated. You know what I mean? Like that second fight, the second KSI and Logan fight was just like the Staples Center, the fight
Mhm.
week, everything. You know, obviously it will be big with Floyd involved, but it's how the community take it. It's how much Logan's fans engage because it's not someone from that community. Like, it makes a difference on how the hype is. You know what I mean? I think it makes a big difference.
And then to build off that, Jeff, I don't think you won't get that back and forth between fans because Logan's fans might say, yeah, he's going to beat Floyd, but no Floyd fan is going to seriously even entertain it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not.
Yeah, okay.
Very true.
Yeah, that's true.
It's-
That's
I mean,
true.
don't get me wrong. I mean, basically, it's a money grab for both of them.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, so, I mean, at the end of the day, you can't be mad at them if it does happen. But if anything, I would rather wish you was a part of it. You know? I train Logan.
yeah, you
That
volunteer
would
to say
bring
Logan
drama.
against Floyd.
Yeah.
The uncle of Floyd Mayweather Jr.
There you go. So Logan, if you're watching, yeah,
Whoa.
Jeff will train you. That'll get more interest. I bet.
There's harder ways. There's a harder ways, tons of harder ways to make that much money. They're going to be making than what they're doing.
And you got to
So,
give Logan credit because, I mean, after the second KSI fight he lost, you're like, well, what else does he do now? Does he,
Mhm.
he's but coming up with a potential Floyd Mayweather fight. That takes some skill on his part for marketing himself. And, I don't know what
course.
they'd make, but I'm sure he'd get paid more than he did against
Well,
KSI.
I assume so. That's what a lot of people don't forget. That these guys, not Floyd, obviously, Logan, JJ, they're not boxers. So when we lose as a boxer, we're like, oh no, like our market has gone down, our value's gone
They
down.
ain't
you know?
boxing?
No, you know what I mean.
Nah, they cuss me out.
Yeah,
but I'm saying what I'm saying. I don't care. If they cuss you out,
What?
cool. But
I know what the lead of our video is going to be.
It's cool. They cuss
they
me
cuss
out.
you out,
Vidal
cool.
says KSI is not a real boxer.
No,
That's
you
the
know what I'm
title of our
saying. Like, we're
video.
talking Floyd Mayweather and then Logan.
Yeah,
Logan
all
Paul.
right. That's
You know,
3
there's
million
a
views.
huge difference between those two, even though they're both professional boxers, right? So it's just one of those things. If they can make this happen and people engage with it, then why not? Because there's people out there getting their head busted for money that those two are gonna see and they will never make.
Yes.
So
Their entire career.
do you know
never
what I
made.
mean? And you could put 5 careers together and boxers ain't gonna make what Logan could make in that night. So you got to just let him do his thing.
Dewey,
Yes.
you are one of the most serious people I've ever met as far as when it comes to combat sports. You have your fun side, but when you train and you take the sport very seriously. Do you appreciate this? Do you think this is good or bad for boxing, or do you really wish this wasn't happening?
Originally, I was definitely against it adversarially. I hated it because I really hate when business really takes over the integrity of anything. Honestly, I'm just being real. But now it's the landscape. Everything's about social media presence and exposure and what you can generate. We're no longer in an era where you just did an honest days of work and you hope that you got rewarded. Now it's about your charisma. It's about the people that you can engage and the people that are willing to support and follow you. So I'm an old dude, but I'm not a dinosaur. We have to stay. We have to stay up with the times. So now I'm okay with it because I realize I may not appreciate the fight and I may be like, really, that's a joke. But there's 2, 3, 4 million people that are really into it, so they can't be wrong.
Jeff, people always talk about how this is good or bad for boxing, or I'm sorry, it will bring new people to the sport, more eyes on it, and a lot of people say, well, they'll come and watch it for that, but they're going to leave. As a trainer, and I know you always talk about people hitting you up on your Instagram and Facebook talking about KSI and that kind of thing. Have you seen an increase in the level of boxing fans that they brought to the sport?
I think that the YouTubers, some of them, especially after the KSI and Logan Paul fight, they actually, to me on that night, that was actually the best fight on the card, even though there were 2 world champions actually fighting that night. So, I think that they earned a lot of respect. Even though they were fighting one another as opposed to fighting, this Logan Paul Floyd thing. Whatever it is. But just the fact that, those two, they fought with their heart. They gave everything they had. So you had to respect them, even though it's still different when you take one of the best fighters ever, put on a pair of gloves, and a guy who lost to another YouTuber. It's not the same, And so, but still.
Do you consider yourself a YouTuber now?
I don't know what the hell I am. Hell, I think I'm YouTube.
Jeff is being
I put
Jeff
that under his
enough.
name a lot in the videos. YouTuber.
Being Jeff is enough. Don't put a title on it.
Yeah, you don't give me no title, man. But no, realistically, it's evolution. You have to change with the times. And I think that, now YouTubers, when you have YouTubers being the main event over world champions,
that tells us we failed, though, also. I think about that a lot, Vidal. How is it that a guy on YouTube makes some funny videos and people laugh, but they'll support them in a professional sport more than we support the professionals in that sport, especially world champions? But it all started years ago when you got announcers announcing fights, calling guys alphabet soup champions, calling guys title holders, openly disrespecting fighters while they're on TV, talking about, ringside champions or the real champions. This guy holding the WBO belt's a paper champion. We shot ourselves in the foot talking bad about these guys who dedicate their whole lives to becoming a champion, to be reduced to a title holder.
But don't you think a lot of that comes down on the fighters themselves? You look at, Logan, KSI, these guys, their craft is, hey, look at me. Yes. But then we look at boxing, some of these guys like Ryan Garcia, for example, who does the same thing, and he's got the followers to show.
I was going to say that,
So when you have some guy that's
got to take responsibility and get more popular, stay on the time, still get on the YouTube. But again, it's a double-edged sword. Real fast, I had this conversation all the time. You don't want to show too much of your training.
But
you don't want to show too much of your sparring.
But it's other stuff.
I know, but image, you can't be too goofy and silly out there. You a goddamn serious fighter, man. You from the hood. You knock motherfuckers out. So you a real dude, and now you gotta laugh and smile too much. And
you don't have to. You're just not gonna get that popularity.
I know, but that's my point. So that's the double-edged sword.
It is.
You a thug from the hood, but you gotta smile a lot on camera and crack jokes and do Steve-O type things to get popularity.
Right. But you see
that's the
you see KSI and Logan and Jake. These guys are on. What do they put up a video every day, every 2 days or whatever? Yeah. You get a boxer, you might not see him for 6 months.
Yeah.
After they fight. So it's out of sight, out of mind. Especially if you don't go out and have a spectacular performance. So you may not necessarily be up there joking around and goofing around, but it could be like Vidal making music or doing whatever.
That's what I was going to say. Is what Dewey said about the content you make. You do think about it because there's tons of YouTube videos and ideas that I have that if I wasn't a boxer primarily, I would do it. Like I wouldn't even think about it. And that's the difference between KSI, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, myself, even though we've all competed in professional ring, they came from that. So they can go back to doing some ridiculous stuff and not be judged on it. Whereas there's stuff I see JJ do, I'm like, I can't do that. I feel like I have to carry myself in a different way because I'm still a fighter at the end of the day. And I still take the sport extremely serious. But I think it's it's just that in boxing, it wasn't a thing. You didn't ever think Instagram would determine how many tickets you sell.
That's right.
You didn't think how many times you tweet would affect how much people want to watch your fight. You just spent your life trying to become the best fighter you can be.
Yes.
And that was enough. For a long time, it was enough. But then times change, as we're saying, times change. And now fighters do have to make it a responsibility to have someone in their team, if they're not doing it, to make sure that they're keeping up with the socials, because those are the guys that are going to overtake you.
And we see that a lot. We see a lot of guys now with camera crews following them around.
It's important.
I didn't get to see the video, but I saw a headline somewhere. You had said that, how about Floyd versus KSI?
Yeah, because we know why Logan and Floyd will get in the same ring. And it is for money. It's for revenue. It's for attention. It's for all of those things. It's not for anyone's legacy. So there is more money in two winners fighting each other than one loser fighting a winner. Floyd's a winner. That's what he is. JJ's a winner. There's more money with two winners. So if you're doing it for money, then create the winners.
Yeah. I'll turn KSI too.
Well, no, actually.
He's going to be he's the Judas of the Mayweather.
No. Because obviously I wouldn't have no involvement in that fight if that was to happen, because I'm just like,
Yeah, you TMT.
yeah, I'm trying to keep my job.
Hey, who would you root for, man?
I don't need my job.
Who would you be rooting for?
I'm I'm rooting for the event.
The fans will be the winners.
I'm trying to keep my team happy, and I'm trying to keep my friends happy. So I'm gonna be front row anytime a shot lands. That's good. That's good.
Actually, Jeff, I don't think you would train KSI, because the first time KSI was at the gym, I mentioned this the other day in an interview, Floyd said he would train KSI, Floyd Sr., and he said KSI wouldn't win, but he could take a couple rounds.
Anyone can do
I'll
that.
say that too.
No way.
I will win.
Hey, if Conor took a couple rounds against Floyd, then
I say-
then
come
KSI
on.
could, right?
Don't do that.
I say we'll win.
You say you'll win, okay.
Yes.
That's what I'm gonna say.
What do you
Yeah.
think, Dewey? Could Senior or Jeff take KSI to win a couple rounds against Floyd?
I mean, a couple rounds, it goes by which Floyd shows up. Sometimes Floyd
Floyd
likes to play around and just
Listen,
jab
I'm gonna
and move.
cut this right here. I'm gonna cut all of this
A couple rounds.
right here.
A couple rounds. I mean, anyone can win a couple rounds. I would think not,
No.
but it's possible.
If it was like Floyd against
it depends
Conor.
on if Floyd wants that.
Yes,
to happen.
yes.
Well, it's like I said against
Remember-
Conor, he didn't throw any punches the first 3 rounds. That's why
Argument, yes,
Conor
his
won.
argument was that Conor won primarily most of the fight. And everyone who's watched Floyd since he was in the Olympics till then realized Floyd was allowing him to do whatever he did that
Of course.
night.
I mean,
Versus Conor making
he
it.
took his best punch. He
Yes.
looked at him like, "Hey, is that it?"
It's the
Yeah.
whole game plan. It's
So
a game plan.
yeah, it goes by what Floyd shows up. If Floyd came out to execute, then
It's
it
gonna
would be
be short.
difficult.
Right.
So it's basically, it depends on what Floyd wants.
And
And
for
with
Floyd
Floyd,
to take that fight, you
what
know
I
what he would do? He would want people to get some kind of exhilaration, some kind of excitement, so he wouldn't just go out there and try to murk him right away, for sure.
No.
Yeah,
He-
plus, and I'll be in
He'd
the
go a
corner
few
too.
rounds.
you could be the ring girl.
No.
You could be the Roy girl.
What is going on here?
Jet whip for 0 to
What is
100 real
going
quick.
on
He went-
here?
Wait, but
Yeah,
Floyd's
go on.
loved in the UK. Why didn't they? Once Logan came up, why didn't they go to KSI and say, "Hey, it's,
Because he's not focused on boxing right now. He's
KSI?
focused on he's
but-
focused on
he might not be, but if Floyd Mayweather says I want to fight you, I think that
of
would
course,
change
but
things.
he
wouldn't it?
didn't. He didn't. It
Logan
was,
beat him to the punch.
Logan is obviously looking for something to grip onto since his fight with JJ. Obviously, he gets amazing views on YouTube, and to us, we're like, wow, you get 2 million views a day. But to him, it's just views now. It's just like, this is standard. They always are seeking another challenge, another thrill. And the next thrill is, they was going to do MMA. He was going to have the fight with Antonio Brown, boxing match with Antonio Brown. That fell
Yeah.
through.
Now, that would have
Well, I
been
had the video, and
That
That
would have
would've
been,
been
that would have
wrestling.
been good.
Yeah.
And then there was a talk about YouTubers doing MMA, and then that kind of fell down as well. So now it's like, okay, here we go. This is another thing that's going to stop the internet. Remember, their goals are to crash the internet. Whatever we can do to make sure when you open your feed, my face is going to be on there. What's going to do that? Oh, I'll fight Floyd. And then, of course, what he wanted and what they want is the whole world to stop, and it did. For that week period, it was everywhere, like trending everywhere. And I guess that's what they're doing it for. So if you can achieve that, that's what they're gonna go for.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan said in the last
MMA
recently.
or something. They
Yeah,
should
he
do
said
MMA.
he would actually back Logan against Floyd in an MMA
Oh,
fight.
100%.
So that's
100%.
100. Oh, look at this, man. He's going to be
100%.
former TMT fighter Vidal Riley. What do you
No,
think?
let's look. Just everyone. This is the problem.
The size.
This is the problem, though. With everyone gets carried away. Just keep it to what it is. If Floyd has a boxing match with any of them, it's not competitive. Logan used to wrestle, and Dewey knows better than anyone.
Yeah. And he's
that's the
50
base
pounds
of
heavier.
MMA. The base of MMA is wrestling, and he wrestled in high school. He knows how to wrestle. I've never seen Floyd pull off any ground move in his life because it ain't his role.
Yes.
So why am I gonna say, oh, Floyd will beat you anyway, even if he could knee you in your chest and Kimura you? Like Floyd's gonna escape and.
Where did you learn that
Like,
word, Kimura?
I watch MMA now and again.
Yes.
Don't.
Yes.
But let's be honest. Let's just be
If
serious
he, I
about
didn't know Logan wrestled. If he wrestled,
Yeah, there's a video of him and Costa wrestling.
Remember, I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying if he wrestled with his size difference,
Right.
it would definitely be difficult to beat him. That's just the bottom line.
Especially with Floyd not
In
being a
the
huge
MMA
puncher.
fight. In
You
MMA.
just walk away. You
Well,
can walk through
remember,
a couple punches.
that's a misconception too. He may not be a huge puncher in a boxing standard, but a not so huge puncher as a professional boxer is a fucking huge puncher in
4
MMA.
ounces.
I train them all.
Mhm.
Let me tell you, you see when Floyd was hitting Conor, how his head was popping around and shit. Boxers punch harder than MMA guys.
Very
man.
true. With them little gloves on, you think he's going to want to be throwing too hard with, having the brittle hands that he has.
Even if you don't throw too hard, just the technique in
Yeah.
delivering that punch will bring the power. That snap is different, man.
That's because that's
Jeff-
what they specialize in.
Jeff, you
Yes.
worked with both. You worked with Roy Nelson, and so compare a couple of heavyweights. So you worked with someone like Bragamoff and Shannon Briggs, and you worked with Roy Nelson. So Roy's known as a big puncher with the overhand right.
I mean, he's a big puncher, but you're talking if
Accuracy.
you compare his punches to
Placement.
Sultan or to Shannon,
It's
no,
can't really
they're not the
compare.
same. Not at all. Not even close.
And then what about the technique too? We see
Well,
a lot
I
of
mean, of
videos people
course,
making fun of MMA guys. They'll be eyes closed or whatever.
But-
I
winging
mean,
them.
don't get me
That's my
wrong. I
point, the
mean,
technique.
It's different.
I mean, technique is totally different. I mean, because most boxers throw their punches straight, and a lot of MMA fighters, their shots are looping because they're throwing just with as much power as they can get,
Mhm.
and they're not really, a lot of them not even working with technique unless they're fortunate enough to have a trainer like a Dewey or myself or some other, someone else that's involved in boxing.
So let me put you on the spot, Dewey. Your guy, Francis Ngannou.
He's the only guy who
Okay.
has power. Power like a high-level heavyweight boxer. I said that on Mayweather YouTube channels way back. But it took him a while to make that accurate power. And it's still... Boxers are sharper with their punches. I'm training the French heavyweight Carlos Takam right now.
Okay.
And you talking about power.
You know
Let me
him?
tell you something.
Yeah.
Man, Carlos Takam fought Anthony Joshua on a 3-day notice or something.
Yeah, and you went to
Went like 10 rounds. Carlos, he just fought main event for Top Rank like maybe 2.5 months ago. When the fight Jarrell Big Miller had to pull out of, Carlos stepped in a 10-round main event fight on an 8-day notice and went 10 and won a unanimous decision. Back to the topic. His punching power, he's a real heavyweight. Let me tell you something. It's something different. Francis is just a blessed guy. Dig dirt his whole life since he was a kid. He should have been an NFL football player if he'd have been in America. So yeah, he hits hard. But Francis is the hardest hitting guy in all of MMA. There's always an exception, 1 or 2 guys that can crack like a real boxer.
Is that more genetics or what do you
With him,
God gifted or
definitely.
is it technique?
It's more genetics and lifestyle coming up with Francis. Man, think about this. He dug dirt his entire life just to pay for his books to go to elementary school. Digging dirt, and by the way, his hardest punch are his uppercuts. And that's that same simulated movement from digging dirt and throwing it over your shoulder.
I don't know
So
if Alistair
he's
Rodriguez
different,
is-
man.
I'm
He's
gonna start
different.
digging
That's what
some
I'm gonna
dirt.
do with my first child.
Remember all the old school guys would
so-
work on the railroad and chop trees for that
See, that's what you
same
gotta do.
bottom
You haven't
power.
been chasing chickens. You haven't been digging dirt. You haven't been doing all this stuff the greats did.
No, I know.
Right.
What can I say?
Yeah, but he's been doing great work and he whipping ass and taking names. So.
Listen, everyone has their own path.
All right, moving on to our other I don't know, freak show fighter or whatever you want to call it, potential upcoming fight. Conor McGregor, Manny Pacquiao. Is this the fight that we need, Jeff, or is this just one too many?
What does Jeff think about this?
It's a money grab. I mean,
Everything's a money grab.
That's basically what's starting to happen. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not gonna give Floyd the credit for basically making that happen, but he is a part
Or
of
blamed
it because once they crossed that line when him and Conor McGregor fought, I mean, the floodgates open, and so now all of a sudden it's almost like it's accepted, and now all of a sudden Conor McGregor, you're talking about a guy who, I mean, that's made more money than a lot of these guys that are fighting today, top world champions that still ain't gonna see that money their whole career. And here it is once again, Conor McGregor coming from a different sport, didn't do nothing to prove that he can even fight. Everybody know that Floyd played with him and Floyd carried him. Everybody know that. And so basically, you having a guy who once again is being caught out of his sport solely because he's the face of their sport, nothing else.
I'm assuming this is supposed to be a professional fight, not an exhibition.
I assume so.
If that's the case, you can debate what you want, but we all pretty much agree that Floyd allowed Conor to go 10 rounds in their fight.
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be the case with Manny. Two reasons. First of all, I don't think he's built like that. Second of all, I think he wants to show Floyd, right?
Yeah.
Vidal, I mean, is Conor making a huge mistake if he decides to get in there with Manny?
No, he's not making any more of a mistake than he did fighting Floyd. You know what I mean? Like,
Hell, he gonna get paid.
like he's getting
But he's
paid.
going to get knocked out a lot more brutally.
I
and a
don't
lot
care
more.
what
The check he
Once
got against Floyd.
Once you get up, you don't
No,
give a
check-
damn
check
about
cash
that.
either way, right?
Especially when you get them 0-0-0.
Listen, people are getting knocked out for free. Okay? And he's out here. His check that he got to fight Floyd is probably, I assume, is more than any of his UFC checks. Like combined.
For sure.
The whole, him
Combined,
and 10 of
probably.
his buddies.
No,
Combined
for
at
real.
least times 3 or 4.
Because we know how the UFC is run. We know it's a company, a closed company. We know how it's run. Everyone's capped in a certain way. Boxing doesn't have that. It allows you to just get paid whatever you can generate.
I think
off
they're saying
that
between
event.
75 and 100 million. I think they said
Right.
that kind
And it's no way is
Money.
it a mistake. The worst thing that's going to happen is he will get knocked out cold instead of getting stopped. But he's still going to walk away with a check to secure him, his family, and his kids and his kids' kids. And that's really what it's about. That's really what it's about.
Yes.
And that's what these guys are doing with these fights. If someone offered me one of those crazy fights and said, this is how much you're going to get paid, of course I'm going to take it. Why would I not?
You make
I'll give
more
you-
money.
I know Jeff
I'll
would
give
be
you
like,
50
why
bucks,
not?
bucks to
Take
fight Jeff.
Come on
Huh?
now. Come on.
How much?
Listen, that's
And-
Jeff's lunch money. We
And remember, and think about this, guys.
Jeff ain't waking up for $50.
Hey, guys, think about this. Let's say if Conor only has 2 professional boxing fights in his life to have fought 2 iconic Hall of Fame boxers. Like
right.
0-2. And
Exactly.
you can say, bro, I fought Floyd Mayweather, Manny
And Manny
Pacquiao. I
Pacquiao.
got 2 fights.
No, for real.
That's never
I
going
got
to be done
200
again,
million.
man. That's never going to be done
And
again.
it doesn't, people always say, oh, Conor, he's an MMA guy, it doesn't matter. But what we got to think about is, I think a big factor is in boxing nowadays, in one division, maybe 4 to 7 guys can tell you they're the best in the world,
Yes.
which makes it very difficult
Look at that
for
division.
the general public to have belief in it. But when they know your name, that's it. That's what sells. Once you're famous, it's like, I'm gonna watch. Whereas if I walk up to someone and say, I'm cruiserweight champion of the world, they're like, cool, that's good for you, but like I don't know you. So I'm not gonna invest. That's why these guys are investing. Like if people are willing to invest, it's like Conor McGregor, big name, Manny Pacquiao, big name, make the fight happen. Everyone gets paid. Remember, not only the fighters get paid. People
Right.
forget that only the fighters are getting paid. Like the people who put these events together also got money to pick up. So when they're looking at what I can get, I normally do this for this amount. If I put this fight together, I'm going to get this amount. Make it happen.
Jeff, do you think this is kind of a sign if this fight were to happen, Manny's ready to finally cash out?
I would think so. I mean, he don't have nothing else to prove. I know they were talking about the fight with Triple G, but I don't. And I think that fight was just possibly being made just for him to fight toward, hopefully win another title, and it'll be so far ahead that he probably his record will stand forever. You know?
Yes, yeah, for sure. I think he's looking for money. He's looking for a few more iconic fights. And remember, Manny has green pastures ahead of him. I got a company in the Philippines now. I'm going there a lot, and he's gonna be the next president of the Philippines. I'd say in about 3 to 4 years.
Wow.
It's gonna happen soon. So his end game is phenomenal.
And what's
so
crazy,
he might as well get paid right now.
And what's crazy, he'd get paid more to fight Conor, or at least the same as he would for an Errol Spence or a Bud Crawford or
I
something.
think he'll
like
make
that.
more.
He'll make more.
Yeah, I just
he'll
wonder
make
how
more.
much Conor's value has decreased since
No,
Floyd.
No,
It's decreased some, but probably
I
not. Yeah,
think
but he's
so.
still probably going to make $30 million
Yeah,
or something.
but when you have the top guys are, like you said, is like Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. Neither one of them can make $50 million. I mean, they would have to fight each other to potentially get that, and not even sure if
even
they'll
then-
get
No,
that.
and that's total if they fought each other.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Not each, though.
No,
way.
So I mean, no, Conor is the money.
And imagine the build-up. I would love to see Conor doing his shenanigans and Pacquiao laid back reserved. Okay,
This is what
okay,
people wanna
okay.
see.
Do you think
Yeah.
Conor would do
Yeah.
that with Manny? Because Manny is so respectful.
No, he
and
would.
quiet.
He would. That's
He
that's
has
that's
to.
why
That's his
Conor is
character.
who
He has to be
is.
himself.
Conor is he has that character of I don't care who you are, I'm gonna troll you. The same with Israel Adesanya. It's
Yes.
the same sort of personalities. People love it. People really do love that personality. Just where you're just gonna Chisora, see, yeah, people love that. When they know when you sit down on stage, you're gonna troll, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna say some just
Bizarre.
crazy things. People want to go on their phone and see that, and that's why these guys kill it. And we've seen Floyd do it too. It's a way to really get people to engage with your brand. It's good. I can't do it, but I might one day. But it's not me. I
Don't worry
just do
about it,
it.
I do it.
Yeah, you can do it for me. I don't know. I get my dad to do it. So.
Hey, we mentioned before the show. I think it might be the most interesting one would be Conor against one of the Pauls, or
you
KSI
go
for that
public.
matter. Oh,
Well, I ain't gonna answer it.
you're gonna answer it
No.
live on the air?
It's called silent, not vibrating.
Would that be a more fun fight? Conor against Logan or Jake
It would be. Hey, speaking of Jake, real fast, I gotta say it.
Oh yeah.
Yo, I've been watching Jake Paul in camp. BJ Flores is a good friend of mine. I trained BJ for the Otto Wallen fight, so me and BJ are close. And I've been coming to watch Jake Paul spar, man. Hey, those little clips he's putting up there is when he drops the guy. And I'm actually the referee in the ring. He's been putting people on their wallets, man. Jake ain't bad. When BJ called me, say, hey, come check this dude out, tell me what you think. Talk to me about his weaknesses, and I'm thinking, YouTube, or I seen KSI train with you guys. So I'm like, some of them might be athletic and have something, but yo, Jake impressed me. In the gym, he's dusting people off. I've been to the gym 4 times, and I'm talking real shit, not hyping up Jake Paul. I've been to the gym about 6 times. I watched him spar 4 times. All 4 times he stopped his sparring partners. Don't mean he's the next world champion, but he's looking good for the level of experience he has.
Right.
He's throwing a nice, powerful right hand and good stiff jabs. I was really impressed with him in the gym, man.
You said
No
KSI
lie.
doesn't want any of that smoke, right?
I ain't say anything like that. Never talked about them fighting each other.
Oh,
of
now
all,
you're changing your tune.
I never said
Jody's
that.
really trying to-
I'm a real dude.
trying
If
to
I
throw
said
him
it,
under
if I
the
said
bus.
it, I would say it.
Right,
I'm
right,
with
right.
Jeff Mayweather. He was my coach. So I'm
Okay.
rocking with whoever rock with Jeff. I'm with
Okay.
Vidal.
This-
I'm with that
There
team
we go,
over there.
there
Yeah,
we go.
Dewey.
But Jake looked good, man. I'm telling you, in
said that.
sparring,
I've said
he
that.
been busting people up.
No, he does. He
Like,
does look good.
like stopping them, not just knocking them down. Knocking them down, we'll get them up, let them shake it off, and they go back. And it's been some ass whooping crippleology going on in that gym. I'm impressed with him.
Dewey is one of the most honest people you'll ever meet, except for when it comes to anything that's to do with Jeff. He lies out of his ass every single time. We can do a prediction. Jeff Mayweather right now versus Tyson Fury right now. Who wins? He would guarantee you he'd pick Jeff Mayweather because he will not pick against Jeff
That's
in
what
any
you
Man,
call.
listen,
That's
I'll
loyalty.
beat him.
That's loyalty right there.
Listen, it's like my father, I don't know about you white dudes want to fight your dad when you turn 18 and shit.
Yeah.
My father's like, no, he can do no wrong.
Listen,
And Jeff's helped
loyalty.
me so much in my life. I wouldn't say he beat Tyson Fury. I'd just say I'm with Jeff.
Right.
I won't
right.
mention the prediction we did, but we did one a couple of years ago with Jeff, and he's like, He's like, oh yeah, Jeff, absolutely. And then afterwards, he's like, man, I can't say go against Jeff on camera.
It was Jeff versus Earl Spence. But
there's
the
also
question
the Bruce Lee one.
would he have a chance? I said, yeah, Jeff has a chance. He's been boxing forever. He has good defense. He still has reflexes and moves.
I give you that.
Anyone has a chance.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's going to beat Earl Spence, but he has a chance.
I ain't gonna beat him.
Listen, you gotta give the man a chance.
I ain't gonna beat him, but I'm gonna get paid.
I did say that, man. Come on, don't ask me no questions like that. Jesus Christ.
Let's see. But I mean, do you? What would be the best? I guess potential. Which two of those four would you like to pair, and would that be better than the other fights? The Manny and Floyd.
The best fight would be Conor versus Jake.
Yes.
Reason why is that if I'm a promoter or I'm an events organizer, whatever you want to call me, and I look at the personalities and what are we going to get once those two collide on stage, that's the fight for me. It's just they're both going to talk. They're both going to talk. They're both going to work off each other and they're both going to create a certain level of hate that's going to make everyone invest. So if I'm putting together a fight, I say Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor.
Yeah, but it'll be a real fight too.
Yeah.
Has Jake
It'll be a real fight.
surpassed Logan in popularity at this point?
Right now, yeah. Right now, I'd say Jake is slightly ahead.
That's
But
recent,
that can
right? Because
change by
Logan
the
was
day.
bigger when KSI when they
That
first
changed
fought.
2 weeks ago
Okay.
when he spoke about fighting Floyd. Logan took over again as
Oh,
the man.
right.
Like they're both nip and tuck, really, between who's more popular than the other.
All right. Well, let's talk about the last few minutes here. Talk about you. So you're back here. When did you get back, and what's the plan?
I got back Sunday last week. Obviously the time is starting to, tick when it comes to the next fight. So got back here, ready to prepare, give myself a week to just get back into the time zone, climate, all of those things. And then we'll just start camp on Monday. And yeah, that's it really. It's for boxing for me. Is people, it might sound, I'm not belittling anything, but boxing is quite easy. It's just the training obviously is hard. You gotta punish your body, you gotta do the sprints, the groundwork, you gotta do all of that. But actual boxing, slip the jab for a right hand and step out, that's quite easy. And that's why I just have confidence in what I'm doing. I've been doing it since I was 2 years old. Like if I don't feel like this about boxing now, I'm never gonna feel like that. I respect my opponent. He had a couple fights in the UFC that I know about, so he's a fighter. He's tough, but everyone's tough. Everyone's a fighter. It's just about this, and can you do it? And I can do both, so I'm ready.
I would ask Jeff, but he'll just say, as long as I'm getting paid, I don't care. So I'll ask you.
I ain't gonna say that.
The way that the question. No.
Go on.
Dewey, you've been around the sport since basically before Vidal was born.
Yeah, 36 years.
Now he's sitting here, going to be on a fight headlined by Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr.
Wow.
A little part of you guys be a little jealous or say, what the hell, man? All this stuff I've been through with this kid. Walks in here 5 fights in and he's on
No,
there.
I'm just happy for him. He's a brother, first of all, so and he's from the UK, so I'm happy for him. And he's a cool dude, man. So I'm happy for him, and I'm just happy to be here with all you guys talking about this, chopping it up. But what an iconic fight. Mike Tyson, Roy Jones. That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
Even though I know they're fighting each other, when I see like Triller, shout out to Triller as well for putting the event together and everything. When I see them put the promotional clips together and stuff like that, like you see the clip that we put out today, when you see stuff like that, it's like, wow. Like you hear my voice and you see Roy and you see Mike and they're in the same clip. This is not editing. This is not no clickbait YouTube stuff. This is like, wow, like I'm talking and Mike Tyson's talking straight after. And then Roy Jones is talking, then Badu's talking. I'm like, this is crazy. It's like you're looking at, it's four guys in there. 3 guys of who have accomplished a ton in the sport. Badu's done what he's done present day. Look at 2 legends. And then it's me. And I'm like, hey, like I'm on the show. It's crazy.
I didn't even get a chance to say nothing.
You didn't say anything.
No, I ain't say nothing. They need to let me say something.
Nah, you get your time. You get your time.
Okay.
But let me have my moment. Let me have my moment.
He's at his time.
Let me have my moment. Let me have my moment.
Might get paid.
But no, it is really one of those feelings where you're just like, wow. Like, how many people would wish to be in the position that I'm in.
Right.
And all I can do to show how grateful I am is perform.
That's right.
And that's what I'm going to do. I don't put any more additional pressure on myself than just Do what you need to do. Do what you always do, and you'll be fine.
This is a really strange card, I guess, in a way, Jeff. You have two of the most legendary boxers ever in an exhibition fight. We have, up and comers. We have established world champions. So it's kind of
it's a mix
match
everything.
of everything. Do you think ultimately this is going to be successful as far as the buy rate goes? Because I don't know how successful an exhibition fight is going to be. So is the interest there? Is it going to be a smash, or you think there'll be a little disappointment maybe?
No, I think that it's going to be a smash. I think it's going to be a smash because I don't think that the exhibition that we're saying is going to really be an exhibition.
Well,
I think
Tyson.
that, I mean,
It's Tyson.
I mean, I just think that Tyson's mentality is to win and to seek and to destroy. And with that being said, I think that, Roy is thinking the same thing. And so he knows that he has to fight, a certain way for the fight to, for him to win. And of course, I mean, he's not going to just let Tyson just come out there and just bomb
That's
rush
what Tyson
him.
wants to do. He's supposed to do that.
Well, the California State Athletic Commissioner said he expected them to go out and just kind of dance around for a few rounds. So, Dewey, is that in Tyson?
Well,
Absolutely not.
he's
It's
the
not in
commissioner.
Roy
That's what he's
either.
supposed to say.
I mean, at the end of the day, these guys are iconic fighters. They're multiple time world champions, and both of them got ego, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we remember Superman, Roy Jones, RJ. We remember Mike Tyson. What he said, I want to eat your kids and all this. I'm impetuous.
Ate my kid.
All that. My style's
I ain't got
impregnable.
No, like,
These guys are about to fight, and it's going to go down, and it's exciting. The reason why it's exciting, even at their older age, is because they did enough in the sport to warrant the respect that we all have for them. So we should definitely salute them, just like we would salute Magic Johnson going out on the court, going 1-on-1 with Dr. J. So we should definitely salute these guys.
Jeff, if either one of these, let's say the fight is one of two ways. Someone is knocked out in devastating fashion, or it's the most boring thing, two old dudes that gas out and just can barely do anything for the entire fight. Does that damage either one of theirs legacy, or are they already so established that people aren't?
No, I don't think that anything can necessarily damage their legacy. I mean, the work that they did is already done. Basically now, this is just a show. It's not going to even if the fight is crap, it's still not going to taint their legacy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, toward the end of their careers, their legacy was a little tainted anyway, by both of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they started to lose to guys that neither one of them should have.
Beaten. Yeah.
But and so if that didn't really taint their legacy, and they still have the fanfare that they have to this day right now. To this day.
To this day.
To this day.
To this day.
Love that.
To this day.
And so basically, I mean, they still have a following. And I mean, and it's more of a Tyson following because, to be honest, if you're around about 17, 18, you don't really know the greatness of Roy. I mean, because Roy was
Still
a
fighting.
great fighter at one point in time. I mean, when he was pound for pound best fighter in the world, he was one of the greatest fighters out there. But
a lot of call him the best ever. They're thinking he was maybe the best ever.
The one thing is this though, is that Tyson. The difference between him and Tyson is Tyson was documented from day one till now. So everyone knows who Mike Tyson is. As opposed to Roy Jones, because Roy Jones was never documented. He, and I mean, basically, he went from being a great fighter to almost like a fighter that you almost didn't respect because he started getting knocked out by guys that's nowhere near his level of skill. And so basically, so for a kid that's 17 and you tell him about Roy Jones, you would have to sit that kid down. And show him how great Roy was because they know who Mike Tyson is. And so any kid like that, they'll be like, who is this dude?
Yeah.
And I mean, and he was a great fighter, but still, he wasn't documented. And even when he was at his top, he still wasn't, I mean, I don't know if he just didn't know how to promote himself, I guess, because at some point, because everybody should know who he is.
No, for sure. Now,
Yeah,
imagine.
he only had the boxing fans. He didn't have that outside
Right.
appeal.
Let me ask you, Dewey. This is why Vidal should let me take over his promotion because he's just too nice. And this is what I think Vidal should do. Vidal goes out and takes care of business. And if Tyson goes and dominates Roy, let's say, and gets a knockout, why not Vidal go in the ring and say, "Hey, Mike, let's do this for real."
Because
Challenge him. Then boom, Vidal's name
No.
skyrockets.
there's one reason I won't do that. It's because I've been raised with respect.
Respect, yes.
I've been
yes.
You
raised with
basically
respect.
say you're a legend, but I want that smoke.
No,
Mike.
because
Thing
I
is-
don't.
Don't worry about it.
Because I don't. Like,
Thing is, Vidal, you beat him for sure.
And
I'll
don't
tell
worry
you right
about it.
now. You
Yeah,
beat
but-
him for sure, but I appreciate you saying that.
I'll be the
because
bad guy.
Wait, what if Jeff was training Mike
You can be the
Tyson
bad guy.
to fight Vidal?
Listen.
I'm with Jeff. He said I'm with Jeff.
hey, but no, thing is, I'm glad you said that because sometimes we have to respect our elders. And even if we can beat them,
Yeah.
we shouldn't want to put them out on their shield like that.
No,
let them embrace and have their time. Real quick, you guys said, what'll happen if the fight totally stunk between Roy Jones and Mike Tyson? It would just be a wake-up call to us all that's aging that, like, yo, your mom may think you can still do this, but you know, kick back a little
Take
bit.
your time.
So either way, it's a good thing. Everybody, like, I'll be 46 November 10th. People in their 50s and stuff like that, late 40s, sometimes we have to realize, like, yo, we gotta chill sometimes. You know what I mean? And so it'll be a wake-up call for that. And the fight got the young, up-and-coming, champions and established champions like Badu. It's a good showcase for these guys anyway.
I think they put the show together
No,
perfect.
it's-
There's
you
even
got all
Jake's on the
bases
show.
covered.
Yeah.
So
They got the YouTubers as well.
This is a huge opportunity for you, Vidal, because you've got 4 fights and people have seen your fights, but mostly they're KSI, Logan Paul. That
Yes.
crowd. You're going to have legitimate, real
A
boxing
boxing
fans with
audience.
your eyes. So do you? I don't want to say pressure because I know you've answered before. You said no. I look at the fight same,
Mhm.
but how do you go into this fight knowing that you have the people watching you that are boxing fans?
It's going to be refreshing. I guess it's going to be great to have an audience who understand the sport, who can really look at my skill and take it for what it is. With the normal, the KSI Logan, they want to see obviously a crash bang knockout and something they can repost and show in school to their friends and stuff. But then if I'm outboxing someone, it might be overlooked. It might not get as much hype as it deserves. When a boxing guy sees it, he goes, you know what, this guy really is outboxing this guy. And then another audience can't appreciate that. So I'm excited to just showcase my talent to obviously my traditional audience, because that's why I am where I am, but also to expand now and show the traditional community I'm signed for a reason. I've been doing this for a long time for a reason. And yeah, it's gonna be a good performance.
And I always call you the UK's hottest prospect, so you got to make me look good.
Yeah,
here.
after this fight, I might just start accepting you saying that. Let's just wait though. Let's just wait until after this fight, and I know I'm gonna put on a good show. I know I will. It's just timing. We do the preparation. We get all the the stuff, the mandatories out the way in terms of what you got to do in camp, and then we'll go and enjoy it on the night.
So just in 5 fights, you've been on a main event at the Badu Jack, first card in Dubai. Dubai. You've done what was a big fight? That was is that Pacquiao?
There was Pacquiao and Broner. Yeah,
You're on that.
undercard as
You're
well.
on. So is this the biggest fight for you?
This is the biggest fight, and that's the way it should go, right? There will be obviously stages where it might plateau or it might feel like we're going backwards, but that's never the case. As long as the record is increasing, the brand's increasing, every fight is a step forward, and then it will get to a point where why are you screaming?
He's waiting to make smart ass comments.
But no, this is the biggest fight.
We're going back to Mexico.
We're gonna go back to
Tijuana. You sure Tijuana's not the biggest fight you ever had?
Shout out to Dewey for that one.
Yes,
A lot of
yes.
people don't. This is the man that got everything kickstarted. So
Yes.
I
I think
can't
that was the
ever
biggest
act like
fight,
I
yeah.
don't know him. No, you know what? Every fight's your biggest fight. I'm not into all of that. Oh, this fight ain't as big. They're all big because if you lose, trust me,
Yes, that's
it's going to
right.
be a bigger deal as any other fight. If you lose,
Got that right.
Never thought about it like
No,
that. That's real.
the moment you lose, it will be the biggest fight of your life. So every fight is a fight. I don't think it's biggest this, biggest that, cool, whatever. You go in there, you need to perform, you need to win, and you need to leave with your senses intact.
That's right.
And let-
100%.
Last question for you, Jeff. In the last couple, I've been around you for 10 years now, 11 years. it seems like now you're kind of more, you're working
That's
with
my whole life.
working around a lot of people. It doesn't sound like you put as much, I don't want to say energy, but as much stock into the professionals, except for Vidal. Are you kind of working with all the amateurs, but you're like, I'm going to focus on this guy, and this is the guy that I'm going to write at the top because I have that much confidence in him? Or
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, every once in a while, there's a fighter that you work with, and that fighter kind of like motivates you, and you feel good when you go into the gym and you start working with that one person. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. Kind of like when I started with Kevin. I started from Kevin when he was
Kevin Newman.
Yeah, when he was basically, he was a kid. He was like about 9 years old.
Yeah, you're still training me in that time.
Yeah, and the thing is that, so I mean, I kind of, blessed him with everything that he really knew, and of course, I mean, and then at some point, of course, I just decided I walked away from it because I didn't want to be a part of it, But the thing is that, with Vidal, I mean, it's kind of like I look forward when I go to the gym, I mean, and not only that, he's, like I always say, he's been here before. He's like so old to be young because we sit down and talk about stuff that's from 1942, right?
Whoa. I get the compliment. I'm taking the compliment, but let's not try and do that now. 2000. That's the furthest we go back.
Okay,
that's when my memory started.
2000.
All right, we can talk all night, but let's wrap this up. Dewey, first of all, fights you got coming up. What's going on with you?
While we're waiting on Stipe to say when he wants to fight, he's kind of trying to delay the inevitable with fighting Francis Ngannou in that rematch. So we're really excited about that. And by the way, a little funny footnote, that UFC title is the only title I haven't won as a head coach. So I get that UFC strap, it'll be bare knuckle boxing, kickboxing, I've won MMA championships before as a coach, but never the top organization. So I'll have all the fighting aspects as world champion as a coach. So we're that's the biggest thing we're waiting for, the inevitable date with Stipe versus Francis Ngannou. Other than that, Carlos Takam is going to be fighting sometime in November. Another main event for Top Rank. We're really excited about that.
Then you got your new project.
Well, I got Keith Lee. Yeah, Keith Lee, 2-fight win streak in Bellator. Kevin Lee's little brother. He's getting busy. And again, tomorrow, Zoo Live. I'm doing my first Fight Talk show.
Nice.
2 p.m. tomorrow. Go to Zoo Live, guys. It's a new social media platform. By the way, we got to tell Vidal about that. New social media platform that's going to pay you for your posts. It's going to be premiering to the world in 3 weeks. Zoo Live is going to be the next platform like your Facebooks and your Instagrams. These guys are going to kill it on there. And I got a show that's going to be starting tomorrow called Fight Talk with Dewey Cooper. So I'm excited about it. Life is good. Nice. Stay in the gym training, everybody. My fighter, Twilight Timmy Kwamba's having his pro debut next month. I've been training him since he was an amateur. He's a killer. He's going to be a UFC champion at 145 pounds in about the next 3 years. Mark my words. We're happy, man. Things are good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds better than my life. No, I'm playing. But that is, you got a lot going on. That's good. That's respect.
I don't have too much going on. Just do the Jeff Mayweather channel, the Mayweather channel, and of course Pro Boxing Insider, which I like to call the realest channel on YouTube.
Whoa. we got to take our time. I was listening, and then you started saying something.
First thing he's thinking,
he got that.
He got the mic dropper every time. How many followers and subscribers you got?
No. Dewey, I don't think you even understand. No. He calls himself the realist. That's why I said we are the realest channel on YouTube.
So that's like you're crossing into my lane now.
All right, so plug yourself. I don't even need to give you a lead.
As always, if you want to subscribe to the realest channel, it's just my name. So you just type in VIDDAL. It will come up. Social media, Is It Real? So it's ISITRIL. And Yeah, and also follow me on Triller. I just started that up because you're going to get some exclusive clips on there building up to the event November 28th for my next fight. And shout out to Smart Stop again. Shout out to My Protein as well. Shout out to everyone who's supporting me. That's it.
Jefferson?
Go to school and get some of my cologne.
Wait, are you still doing those boxing lessons?
What?
Yeah, I was going to say,
I'm
those.
still doing
So how do
Yeah.
people catch those,
How
Jeff?
do people get those?
You got to teach them how to play.
Not that I would do it.
Oh yeah,
That's
Well,
how
I
he
am
trains
doing
Vidal, by virtually, yeah.
virtual boxing trainer.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. You got to go to my YouTube,
Okay.
not my Instagram page,
Oh,
Okay.
and find the link in my description or what do you
In your
call
bio, in your
it?
bio.
Yeah, in that thing.
See,
you
I'm
get virtually
coaching him.
trained.
I'm still coaching him.
You get virtually trained by Jeff Mayweather in your own home. That's
yeah,
cool.
but that's basically it. I mean, of course, I'm training Vidal, helping him get ready for his big fight, and I have a couple other guys, young guys that they just had 3 guys that just fought, and no, 2 guys, and they both won. So I'm happy about that.
All right. Well, we're gonna plan to keep this weekly if we can. But it's been a while, but we'll try to be back more often now that this stuff seems to be blown over a little bit. So we appreciate you checking us out. Check us out on the Jeff Mayweather channel. Also on what are we on? Spotify? What are we on?
Spotify. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Spotify. All right, we're on Spotify. Check us out there. And like Vidal said, thank you so much to Smart Stop Self Storage for the sponsorship. We appreciate it, and we will see you next week.